Hey, what up YouTube? It's Snuffaluff again. I have another tutorial for y'all. I figured out a more reliable way of doing the DG, Croc, and Tiger pull without the need for a lip or a Noggin Fogger elixir. So if you're interested in not blowing tons of gold per pull when doing the ZG AoE pull, then stay tuned and see what I have to offer. So this video I recorded, I'm at the end of one of my pulls, so I want to just let it play through. That way you guys can see how everything is supposed to run. I will say that the timing is very imperative. So here in this group, I have another person outside of the instance that's resetting for me. And when you get a fresh instance that starts, all of the patrols start at a set location and you know where all the patrols are. If you wipe in a instance, it's almost better to just reset unless you're already about to hit your reset timer, then you can kind of risk it. But the patrols will vary when you get later and later into the same instance. So I'll go ahead and start letting this go. So another point I want to emphasize is if you don't already, make a macro that says /target Zulian Taiga or Tiger, or is it Zulian Cub? It's Zulian Cub. And so the cubs that are non-elite in the instance, when they get down to a certain HP, they will run and try and aggro more packs. So if you have them targeted and you see at what HP they are, you know when to use your max rank blizzard spells to try and kill them and not let them escape. So here we go. This is going to be a fresh instance. And it's imperative that you have the guys that you're boosting on point with all of this. So I like to invite them to Discord. I'm kind of getting ahead of them right now. Your alts are going to be positioned right behind this bamboo while you pull the mobs down here to the left. And when the mobs are aggro to you and they run away from their post, your alts are able to kind of sit on top of the waterfall and they will be able to receive all the XP that you're about to grind out for them. So this is the path I take. There is a safe spot that I will jump on. And there's a little trick about the safe spot that will make your mobs that you aggro reset faster that you're going to want to do if you're going for speed clears. So right here at the root, I jump up. If you jump off the root and jump back under the root, everything will reset much faster. Also going to put up another fresh ice barrier and mana barrier or mana shield. I'm going to come over here. And the patrol hasn't gotten to the point to where you need him to be to start to pull. So what I do is I save myself a light feather by taking this path. If you notice that the berserker is already far enough along and you have to start the pull when you're at the tree stump, you don't have to do this and you can simply light feather and mount up and make the jump. But since I had some time on my hands, I went ahead and opted to just go ahead and save myself a light feather. And at this point, you kind of have a little bit of time. He doesn't necessarily have to be at the perfect spot, but right here, he's a little further along than you would like, but it's all right. You'll be able to manage. So you have a ice barrier and a mana shield up, and then you start your basic pull. Now, I am going to be skipping the 2 packs on the far side of the temple, because I found that by trying to get the 2 packs on the far side of the temple, you risk getting dazed by the crocodiles and you will dismount and the route becomes very risky. Like more times than not, I die and it just becomes unreliable in my eyes. So I just stick with this type of pull. If you're ever going to get hit by a mob, I also recommend that you face the mob. That way you avoid getting dazed by it. So here I make the jump, refresh my ice barrier and mana shield. You have the soul flares right where you land. You can just jump down and frost nova, then cold snap, then frost nova the second pack of crocs. But here you don't. You just need to frost nova once. So where the soul flares are right now tells you that you need to save your blink for when you make this jump. and blink away from the temple. Otherwise, you will aggro those soul flares and it's a wipe. So put a slowdown on the crocodiles. Then also right here, since you want to use your cold snap, just in the rare instance that there's a soul flare in the wrong position, I just frost nova. I'm dealing with some lag apparently in this video, but yeah, you just frost bolt that one mob and then take off running. You hit the water, you want to blink. This is another point too that you may need to practice on. So if you find yourself wiping, just clear the instance and then go back to some spots. I counterspell that other pack down there. But yeah, when you get to some spots that you have some issues with, and I had some issues with making that bamboo jump that I just did right there, you want to go back and just practice. And there's a couple nicks and tricks that you'll eventually figure out if you try jumping it enough times. So I premature light feather, then jump off this ledge and go for this corner right here. There's some fish in the water, but that's all right. So blink when you hit the water. This is another point where I was having issues with and was wiping a ton. Eventually, you'll learn what position you have to and what way you have to face to make that jump under that tree root. So at this point, I've used 2 light feathers, no lips, and no noggin foggers. Put another frost ice barrier up. I blink and I counterspell the far crocodile. That way they get to me faster. And you want to face the crocodiles when they hit you. That way you don't get dazed. I put another light feather on, so that's my 3rd light feather, and I make this jump over to the temple and hit the corner. From here, I blink away. And then at this point, you just kind of go for a smooth AoE pull. Everything's pretty well batched up. What I do is once I get to that reset point, I'll RP walk and I'll jump up and I'll strafe a little bit to the left. And I find that every time I strafe a little bit to the left after making it on top of that rope, they all recognize the safe spot. But I do that immediately, and then I get myself set and ready to start doing rank 1 blizzards. And it's at this point where your macro, where you target the non-elite Zillion cub, comes in handy. At about 50% is when you want to use your max rank spells, or when the cubs are at 50%. If you ever get a clear cast, you want to use max rank if at all possible. So here I see that the cubs are getting low on health, so I'm probably gonna have to use another full rank blizzard. Yeah, I do. So now all the cubs are dead. So now they won't go and run and aggro more mobs that are just gonna wipe you. But from here on end, you just you use rank 1 blizzard, and you use your max rank whenever you get a clear cast. You have to, you can jump under the rope and use evocate. But yeah, basically this is the best pull that I've engineered. That's very reliable. A lot less can go wrong. If you try taking that long path and you try getting going on the far side of the temple, I find that you just get knocked off your horse way too many times to make it reliably consistent. But this is the pull that I've been able to make these power leveling much more reliable. At the end of the day, it turns out to be about 120,000 XP per hour. I'm pulling like 1 less crocodile pack than what some of the other streamers are doing right now, but in return, I'm getting much more reliable runs. I'm not dying every time. If you see like my instance reset timer, I just finished like engineering this pack, and this is one of the first pulls that I did where everything was coming together. I was having issues with the route before this, and now I was there for about 5 minutes trying to figure out the best way to take that angle, and I've pretty much perfected it at this point. So, but if you guys want me to make another video on like what can go wrong and how to cope with, I can probably make another video where I kind of like come back from things that don't go perfectly. Also, I can show you some things that I wiped on many times trying to figure out all of these things and what I did in order to better overcome those obstacles. So if you want me to check out, go over the bamboo spot or over that tree root spot that is hard to jump through, I can make a video based on what I've come to find out and do in order to overcome those obstacles. But yeah, so this was a pretty smooth run. I mean, rank 1 Blizzard, you know the drill. So I'm not the only guy that's put out a video about this, so I feel like it's kind of unnecessary to really go over how to do this. But yeah, I mean, that should be it. Let's see what the loot looks like here. Well, I don't have my chat window up, so I can't really tell. I don't have the add-on activated. But yeah, so that's the whole run. It takes about 9 minutes, 8 to 9 minutes to do this whole thing. So I don't know exactly how far into this video I am just now, but yeah, this is oh, another point that I can make too is you can use a Skull of Impending Doom or Stopwatch if you have to, if the mobs get too close to you. And generally I like to do this when I make my final jump with the light feather. So when I'm jumping from down back over there over onto this main area, you can use yeah, back over there onto the corner of the temple. I like to use Stopwatch if they're getting too close, or you can even use Skull of Impending Doom if you'd like. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole run. I think it's about 900 rep per hour as well if everything goes perfectly. But yeah, the key is to just make sure your alts get on at the right time at the beginning of the instance and then run through it. So yeah, I'll see you guys online. If you want, you can check out the stream. I stream my BWO runs. I'll stream AoE farms. I'll stream my GDKP MCs or ZGs. So yeah, keep in touch. Take care, guys.